Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Sam is still in meetings, but helping me out today is Ray Bacon. Ray?
Good morning. This morning we start with an interview with Brian Sandoval. I'm sure he'll have some interesting insights on Yucca Mountain.
And on our pundit panel, we have Marlene, Lockard, Keith Lee, and Martha Gould. It's all coming up next on the new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Ande Engelman.
A year ago, Brian Sandoval took office as Attorney General. This morning, he joins us to bring us up to date on a number of issues. Brian, thank you for being with us this morning.
It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, Ande. It's great.
Morning.
Morning,
Go
Ray.
ahead, Ray.
Morning. One of the things which we don't hear as much about in northern Nevada, but is a hot topic in southern Nevada, is the whole issue of political corruptions and the skin clubs and things like that. A question which I've gotten from some of my constituents, and I'm sure it comes to you fairly often. The Attorney General does not seem to be involved in this thing that appears to be totally the federal government. Is there a reason for that? And are we done? Where are we going with this whole political corruption thing?
Well, and Ray, thank you for the question, and it's something I get asked quite often. And yes, this is a federal probe, a federal investigation, a federal prosecution, but our office will in the very near future start to get involved in these types of cases. I personally have am requesting and hopefully will receive FBI clearance. Deputies in our office will be cross-deputized with the U.S. Attorney's Office so that we can indeed get involved in federal corruption or corruption-type cases. I have met personally with the U.S. Attorney and the FBI, and they said there's plenty of work to be done, unfortunately. And finally, we've established a public integrity unit within the Office of Attorney General.
Well, now that was something you talked about during the campaign.
Yes.
And so you have followed through with that. How does that new department work?
Well, first of all, we had to have the right people before we could put it into action. And I'm very fortunate to have hired a very, very strong prosecutor who came out of Humboldt County, who has prosecuted cases from misdemeanors to death penalty cases. He is the chief of our public integrity unit. Very pleased to have him on board. We also have a dedicated investigator. And again, we are in the process of investigating certain cases that we will hopefully prosecute in the very near future.
right, now, Brian, what kinds of cases would those be? And can the public make complaints directly to this new department if they're concerned about something?
Absolutely. And again, it involves public corruption. If there's a concern about an elected official, a state employee, our office can get directly involved, investigate those cases, and then prosecute them. So all you would have to do is call the Office of Attorney General and present your complaint, and we'd be happy to look into it.
It doesn't have to be written, you can just do it over the telephone?
Sure, certainly. And then we would obviously follow up with an investigator who'd want to interview the complainant.
Right. All right. Now, if somebody calls your office, who should they ask for if they have something that they suspect is not correct in government and needs to be looked at?
Well, the deputy I was speaking about previously, his name is Conrad Hafen. He's in our Las Vegas office, the Las Vegas Office of Attorney General.
Okay.
Any speculation on how long before this political corruption thing gets totally aired, or how long is the ongoing process going to take?
Well, all it could be is speculation, and I
understand that.
Yes, it's ongoing, and as you know, some of the defendants pled guilty. The others will be going to trial. I would anticipate that it will be a very lengthy trial, and I doubt that we'll see anything until this summer.
Just for those people that are not aware, I've talked to my counterpart in Kentucky that went through a federal investigation. That's now 13 years old and it still is not closed, so this is not going to be a quick process.
Wow. And we should clarify, you've changed the name of the Attorney General's office.
Well, I wouldn't call it a change. It is the Office of Attorney General, Nevada Department of Justice. In several states across the country, the Offices of Attorney General call themselves the the Department of Justice. I thought it was appropriate to better, express what our mission is, which is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the people of our state, and I believe the Nevada Department of Justice better exemplifies that.
Okay, so it's now the NDOJ, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. All right, well, speaking of that takes us to Yucca Mountain. And what is the most current status? I know you've been in court, and most recently filed a complaint over the the National Regulatory Commission, I think it was, tried to close meetings?
Correct. There's several things going on. We are preparing to go to court. We go to court on January 14th in the District Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C., second highest court in the land, and this is Nevada's opportunity to go to court and give our 5 cases and go to a 3-judge panel and certainly argue our cases, and I'm very confident that we will do very well there. With regard to the meeting that you talk about, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission had met with the Department of Energy in secret meetings. Nevada was not invited, and again, this is something that affects the health, safety, and welfare of all the people of our state, and if they're going to be talking about those types of issues, Nevada should be sitting at the table. And the other issue is there's an inherent conflict there, because the Department of Energy is going to be making an application to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for a license in order to operate Yucca Mountain. So you've got the applicant meeting in secret with the arbiter of whether we're going to have it or not.
Well, here you enforce the open meeting law.
Yes.
Who do you file your complaint with on that?
We've already filed a complaint. We filed it with the chairman of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
Any idea what our total legal cost on Yucca Mountain is going to be? I mean, it's got to be a lot of money at this stage.
It is a lot of money.
It's going to be ongoing for a while yet.
It's a lot of money. It's worth every penny. Again, this is something that will affect, or could affect, the health, safety, and welfare of every Nevadan. It's not safe. It's literally located in a volcanic area, upon an earthquake fault, above an aquifer, next to the country's fastest growing city, and next to one of the busiest Air Force bases in the country. If you could find a worse place to locate a nuclear repository, I challenge you to do so.
We have to take a break now, but we'll be back in just a minute to continue our conversation with Brian and talk about open meetings and the Board of Examiners.
Thank you.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Ande Engelman.
And we're here with Attorney General Brian Sandoval. All right,
Morning.
Brian, we just talked about the fact that the Nevada Regulatory Commission tried to close meetings. I know that you have a number of open meeting law complaints pending in your office against the University Board of Regents at this point in time. And I know that that's got to be a massive investigation to undertake. Do you have any idea when we might be hearing anything?
Well, you know, we've received 5 complaints so far from a regent, from a stated assemblywoman, and several others, including yourself. And we take these complaints very, very seriously. In this case, we have over 19 hours of testimony that we have to review. We have a 1,000-page document that we have to review. We have to be very thorough, of course, because the people that are complained about, the board in this case, are entitled to proper due process. We want to be very confident in our case, but again, this is a priority, and we hope to have some type of a decision in the very, very near future before the end of the year.
But you will be talking to all of the people involved, not just the regents, but other people also, right?
Certainly. No, we investigate this very thoroughly, and we will interview the complainants. We will interview those who perhaps were in attendance at the meeting, but the most important issue is listening to that 19 hours of testimony and determining whether there were votes that were taking place in a closed meeting, which should have taken place in the open public.
Let me interject here. Just as a matter of curiosity, the last year or so, last couple of years, we seem to have spent a tremendous amount of time with one department of government suing another department of government. Any idea how much money we spend on if you will, wasting money on suing ourselves?
Well, it's unfortunate, but again, that's our job, is to enforce the law.
We'd like to put you out of that business.
No, and I agree. And again, we take our mission very seriously. That's our job. And how much does it cost? You know, it's hard to put a hard figure on that, but certainly it takes a lot of deputy time. I mean, we have a deputy who has to sit and listen to 19 hours, you know, of meetings, has to review all the documents, has to interview witnesses. So this, you know, I guess I'd much rather have that deputy working on other cases out there, you know, prosecuting people who are trying to fraud consumers.
Excuse me, you just had a ruling against the Board of Regents after almost a year ago with the Supreme Court.
Yes.
What punishment, if any, was meted out to the regents following that?
Well, there was, you know, that was a very long process. It took a couple of years, and ultimately, I think, you know, if my recollection is correct, is certainly the regents are on the precipice here, because there has been, you know, with the Nevada Supreme Court case, a history of violations of the open meeting law, and certainly we take, you know, a step process, and if indeed we find that there was a violation of the open meeting law in this case by the very same entity that we were successful against in the Nevada Supreme Court, then we will have to take it a step further.
And the ultimate penalty is a misdemeanor, right? They can be thrown out of office even?
That's correct.
Okay.
But fines?
Fines,
jail, 6 months in jail.
Yeah, and I'm not saying here that is what we're going to do. We have to take all the facts and circumstances into account. But certainly, as we look back and see if there have been several violations, and then a more recent violation, you know, a possible violation that is on the, you know, on the tail of a successful Supreme Court prosecution of the open meeting law, then that's going to be very relevant.
Where's the fine money go from this type of They've
never collected fine money on this before.
That's what I'm asking. I guess my first would be that it would go to the general fund, the state general fund.
That's good. Quickly, because we are running out of time, the Board of you're a member of the Board of Examiners,
Yes,
and
I
they
am.
met last week, and once again, the university has come to you asking for $600,000 to pay for a contract which evidently was never presented to the Board of Examiners. Can you summarize that for us, Brian?
Sure.
And
Well, the concern, I'm a member of the Board of Examiners along with the Governor and the Secretary of State. We review all the contracts that are approved and conducted in the state of Nevada. In this case, the university was providing psychological services on behalf of the state. They failed to bill the state in a timely manner and billed us after the close of the fiscal year. As a result now, the state will have to pay that out of our contingency fund, which is typically used for catastrophes and things, again, contingency.
the amount's $600,000?
Yes, it's a extensive amount of money, and the governor was very firm and very hard on the university that, this isn't appropriate. We have to budget, and we can't, the state doesn't operate like that. We can't wait.
They didn't even present you with written contracts, did they?
No, there was no written contract, and there was some give and take between the university and the state in that regard, but the bottom line is they should have billed us before the close of the fiscal year.
If they've already paid the bill, why can't you just say, too bad you didn't follow the rules, you can't have the money?
Well, we'd like to say that, but they did provide services on behalf of the state of Nevada, and I think fairness dictates that ultimately we pay them. But I think we've sent a strong message that in the future, you bill us before the fiscal year.
Yeah, they also got a 24% increase in the university funding. It's fair game to say, let's split it, guys.
Yeah, right. We're out of time. Brian, thank you so very
pleasure to
much.
be here.
We look
Thank
forward
you,
to
Andy.
seeing you next
Thank you,
month.
Be happy
and
to be here.
We'll be right back with the Pundit panel.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Ande Engelman.
And we're here with our pundit panel. Let me introduce them. Marlene Lockard, now owner of a new business called Capital Strategies, right?
That's correct.
Okay, welcome again. And Keith Lee, thank you for being here. And Martha Gould. And Ray, of course, what impressed you the most about what the Attorney General had to say this morning?
Well, I think the step of having the Attorney General finally get involved in our political corruption things and getting the security clearances and things like that, I think that's a huge step in the right direction. It's almost an embarrassment that we haven't been involved in cleaning up our own mess and had to have the feds do it.
And just to review, in case anybody missed it, Brian was talking about the fact that it's now the Nevada Department of Justice. He has an integrity unit. They've received clearance now, where FBI clearance and so forth. Is this going to make people feel better or worse, the fact that the Attorney General's office can be involved in some of these investigations?
I think it's positive, to be very honest with you. I think it's high time.
Well, and I agree with that, and I think that what it's going to do is bring further assurances to the citizens of Nevada that, you know, we're going to look at it from our own perspective, a state perspective, and that while we'll cooperate with the feds as much as we're able to, that still it's going to be a state perspective, and that the best interest of the citizens of the state is going to be first and foremost.
I think it's just unfortunate that we have to even develop such a section, and that those that are in office and some of the problems that we've encountered over the last 6 months demonstrate the need, unfortunately, for this new section.
But if you think about our long history and things like that, this is how many times now that we wound up with the feds being involved in taking a look at our house internally over the last 20 years, or actually the last 40 years. It's way too many.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe it's time that we get involved and start dissecting and cleaning up our own house before we get so much help from the outside.
Do you think it would be cleaned up, or will the temptation be there to smooth it over and hide it?
Well, that's a good question.
Well, I don't think
go on.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I don't think that the state's involvement is going to smooth it over. I guess the more basic question to me is, are the folks that are investigating, the folks that are committing these crimes, are they ever going to get it? And are they ever going to realize that you know, they are there and elected and appointed to serve the public, not to be served by the public? You know, we've talked about this many times before. There are too many people, and by that I mean if it's only one or two, too many people that run for and are elected to public office for all the wrong reasons. Should there be some sort of a required ethics statement disclosure of candidates right up front?
If they don't know
what good will it do? I mean, it's another piece of paper they'll stroke that means nothing to
and won't even read.
The bottom line is that the state of Nevada is responsible to the people of the state of Nevada. And if we have to have a new Department of Justice to clean up our own house, so be it. And maybe the message that we're going to send to people who will be running for office is that you run for office for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. And the right reasons are to serve the people of the state.
All the laws, all the law enforcement in the world is not going to make that happen.
Marlene, you've been involved in recruiting candidates. Do you give them that talk when you're recruiting somebody to run for office, or it's just will you, will you?
You cannot mandate ethics and ethical behavior. You either have integrity or you don't. And sometimes the voters don't know the real person until they get in office, and we've had the experience that we've been having. And so that's unfortunate, but I think, you know, a thorough vetting could help, and maybe during the campaign talking a little bit more about ethical standards would help identify how some folks at least talk to the issue, but you can't mandate it. They either have it or they don't.
Are those questions that voters should ask, or those questions the media should ask? Or
both.
Maybe we should be asking both. So we should say to somebody, okay, now if you're offered money in exchange for your vote on something, and see what they say.
But you know what they're going to say. They're going to say, "Oh, I would never do that. That's you know that's not me. That's not my character." They're going to do it. If they're predisposed to do it, they're going to lie about it to begin with, and then they're going to do it the second time.
So how do we tell?
You don't. Is part of this issue the fact that we've become a politics of sound bites?
Absolutely. People do not speak to issues anymore. They speak to 30-second sound bites.
Sure. And part of it,
what the people want to hear is what the candidates will tell them, and that has nothing to do with what's going to happen once they're in office.
Sure.
And that is the biggest tragedy of all, and the biggest danger to our democratic way of government.
So we've tried to do candidate debates and things like that, and I think your experience matches mine. The attendance at those things is, just call them paltry would be really being kind.
Abysmal?
Yeah, they're terrible. you can go, most of the public forums and things like that, you can pretty much count the members in the audience that are not involved directly in the campaign on your fingers and toes and not have to take off your mittens or your shoes. So. Well, that's true. And you know, again, you get back to, you know, why are people running for office? Is it to try to do a greater good, or is it to sort of pad their own resume? And those who are running for office to pad their resume are those you have to be careful about. And you have to watch it
ultimately
And
and
how do you
inevitably
tell the
they will
difference,
cause a
Keith?
problem. You don't. It's all. That's the problem. It's all after the fact. It's only after they've had that sort of, you come to the fork in the road, and unlike Yogi, you can't take it both. You've got to take one or the other. If you take the high road, it's fine. If you take the low road, you're going to be caught, hopefully.
Who was it that said, I think it was Pogo who said, we have met the enemy and it is us.
Yes, right.
But you know, when I ran for mayor all those years ago, I was told that I ran the dullest campaign in history because all I would talk about were the issues. And it was the media who kept on saying it was a dull campaign.
Well,
Because
who
all
cares
I
what
would
the
talk
media
about-
says?
You weren't giving them the 30-second soundbite that
Okay.
maybe
I talked
even
about
better.
issues.
We're almost out of time. I want predictions for next year, next year's election. Will the Republicans take over the Assembly? Marlene?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Wow, it's split. And if you think I'm going to break it, you're going to I'm smarter than
You
that.
come to that fork in the road, Andy, you have to take one.
Watch this. We'll be back after this break.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best. I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Thank you for being here today, Ray. I appreciated it.
Thank you.
Today, manufacturing. Tomorrow, media mogul.
Probably not.
Tomorrow, Congressman Jim Gibbons joins us, and Senator Raggio was also scheduled to be with us, but he'll be doing the eulogy for Father Murphy, who died Sunday night. Thank you for watching.